Wizards acquire Trevor Ariza from the Suns for Kelly Oubre and Austin Rivers after a three-way trade fell apart over mistaken identity. The Wizards are getting Trevor Ariza after all. Washington agreed in principle Saturday to acquire Ariza from the Phoenix Suns for Kelly Oubre and Austin Rivers, according to a person familiar with the deal. The person spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity because it had not been announced by either team. The Ariza trade came together hours after potential three-way trade involving the Grizzlies fell apart late Friday night over whether Memphis was including Dillon Brooks and Marshawn Brooks in the deal. They wanted one Brooks but not the other. The saga included general managers informing players had been traded, awkward conversations to explain they weren't, and finally the talks coming to an end. Washington Wizards players went through the emotional roller coaster of the failed trade after the loss at Brooklyn, as Kelly Oubre and Rivers are still on the team bus to the airport and the flight home. We all understand it's a business, says point guard and shooting guard John Wall said after practice Saturday. You never know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. The first time I've ever seen a trade go dead and guys are on a bus talking about it, kind of devastating for those people. Trevor Ariza is 33, and he returns to Washington where he played for 2 years from 2012 to 2014. The 6'8", 215-pound guard is averaging 10 points and 6 rebounds this year, along with 3 assists in 26 games with the Suns this season. This is the last year this is the last season of his remaining contract. Phoenix Suns forward Josh Jackson called Ariza the ultimate veteran and the ideal guy to have on your team. He has always been constantly teaching us, Jackson said. He's been in the league a long time, been on a lot of winning teams, and whenever he saw something, even if it was the smallest thing, whenever he saw something that wasn't right or something that we weren't doing right all the way, he would take the time, even stop practice, and just talk and tell us the right way to do it and why. Until the trade can be finalized, Oubre and Rivers weren't at Wizards practice, and Ariza wasn't with the Suns, but Wall and Bradley Beal said they each texted with Ariza since word of the trade got out. It's always great to add a guy like Trevor Ariza on one of the best veterans and teammates I had in the past. John Wall said, "We know what he brings to the table, and it seems like he's excited to be here." To get Trevor Ariza, the Wizards gave up 23-year-old Kelly Oubre, who they wouldn't part with in a potential trade for Jimmy Butler earlier this fall. Oubre was the 15th overall pick in 2015, and he's averaging 13 points this year, and which is considered to be fourth best in the league. Rivers goes to Phoenix after Washington had just acquired the 26-year-old from the Los Angeles Clippers over the summer. Austin Rivers was not aware of the details Friday night, but believed he was departing, putting him and Oubre in an uncomfortable spot. It's kind of unreal in a way, Bradley Beal of the Wizards says. You don't see that a lot. I kind of feel for Kelly and Austin to be in that trick bag in any way of not knowing. I think they handled it well. Like professionals, I think anybody else would have been a little more frustrated. Despite having the max contract players in Wall and John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Otto Porter, the Wizards are off to a disappointing 11-18 start. The general manager of Memphis Grizzlies, Chris Wallace, said Saturday he was very disappointed. Someone with either the Washington Wizards or Phoenix Suns or both teams leaked the trade while the Grizzlies were playing. Wallace made it very clear that Dillon Brooks in his second season, since the 45th overall pick in the 2017 NBA draft, was traded to the Grizzlies, was never part of any discussions for this deal, and the team thought it was trading for Marshawn Brooks. Wallace said the leaks forced him to do something for the first time in more than 30 years of working in the NBA, pulling Marshawn Brooks and Wayne Selden Jr. out of a locker room to tell them they had been traded, only to have to backtrack and say they hadn't been. What happened that last night was unfathomable. Wallace said, "I've never experienced this before, and we were very clear about who was in this deal and what we wanted. And Dillon Brooks was never intended to be a part of this deal." Marshawn Brooks said Wallace told him he had been traded after the game in front of the team. He showered, went to the family room, and was starting to walk. when Wallace told them they needed to talk a span of about 15 minutes. I was like, huh? Brooks said I was confused, man. Confused. And of course now some teams are getting the players they want, some are not. It sucks.